Welcome to my first in a series of teaching the relaxing dot mandala art form. My name is Ann-Marie Watkoskey, and today I'll be sharing a basic traditional dot mandala pattern. In today's lesson, I will cover supplies used, including paint, tools, and surface upon which to create dot mandalas. These classes I am offering in person through the Fort Pierce Art Club, with all supplies included. I also wanted to make it available for those who prefer to create mandalas from the comfort of their own home. I'll go over supplies, but will also leave links to purchase your own supplies with recommendations. Let's get started. First, let's go over supplies. It is essential to have acrylic paint. There are plenty of options out there, but typically Nicoles, Folk Art, Apple Barrel, any of these little paints that you can find in tubes like these will definitely do the job. However, my personal favorite is Golden. It's a little pricier, but the quality is exceptional. So what does exceptional mean? That perfect blend of vibrant color and perfect consistency. Wait, what? Consistency? Yes, sometimes you may find that when you go to use acrylic paint, sometimes it can be too thick or too thin. In dot mandala world, it doesn't call for too much perfection, but getting close to the right consistency will result in a better outcome. As for tools, anything that has a flat, circular end in a variety of sizes will do the job. I will show you some examples of what I use and what in-person dot mandala class instruction will be using as well. So here are a couple of examples. This is actually from a drill bit set. As you can see, the bottoms are flat and circular. And then these right here are wooden dowels. And as you can see, there's a couple of different sizes. And the variety of sizes adds to the originality of these dot mandalas that we'll be creating. I also, in addition, you can order online, or you can find them at arts and crafts stores like Nicoles or Hobby Lobby, whatever your art supply place is that's close to you. You can also find dotting tools. They're also known as embossing tools, and they have a little steel ball at the end of them, and those are great for really tiny dots that can really add a lot of great, wonderful detail to your mandala piece. They're also known as embossing styluses. Getting back to the drill bits, I was able to get this for like $15 at Harbor Freight. If you open it up, it comes with all kinds of lovely sizes, from very small to very large. As for surfaces, I would recommend canvas, wood panels, old CDs, old records, or anything of the sort that has a smooth, firm, hard surface. This right here is about a 6" by 6" square wooden panel that I have put down a layer of black paint. I usually like to have darker surfaces, and then you can put nice, bright, colorful dots on top of it. So at this point, we have gone over the basics of the paint, the tools, and the surfaces, and now we can begin. I just love this form of art, and it is very calming, and it's fun and surprising what comes out as the end result. Typically, I like to use shapes that are squares. They tend to come out really nice, and everything looks very symmetrical. Here's an example of a very symmetrical dot mandala that I had done. I also have another example where it's also another square. This is also done on canvas. You can get really creative and really imaginative. You can decorate the corners. You start out in the center and you can work your way out, or you can go the other way around. So those are just 2 examples I have on hand. For today, I am just going to use a ruler, and if I go from corner to corner, what we're doing is we are finding the center. So we're just going to draw a line here, and I'm going to draw a line the other way to create an X so that we have a center point to start from. Now, when we do this in person, or if you're following along online, you can generally take these paint tubes and you can pour the paint in the tray. You could also, some people, what they like to do is they like to work out of the cap, so you have your color in your cap, and then you can apply the paint from your paint tool, from your dotting tool onto the surface. It's up to you. For today, what I've done is I've pre-selected colors. I've made my own colors, and I have them pre-mixed in jars. So I'm going to use 4 different colors today. We're going to use a teal color, a white color, a light yellow-green color, and a blue color right here. So I'm going to open these up. In a typical mandala, normally the center dot is a larger dot, and then you surround your larger dot with really small dots. If you do not have these tools, especially the embossing tools, you can use items around your house like toothpicks. Toothpicks will work to make your really small dots. I usually go with my largest size, which is about a half inch diameter. And what is really important is you dip your tool in the paint each time so that you get a nice strong dot. So I'm going to do a demonstration with the very first dot. I'm going to go with white as my first dot so it shows up nice and clear to y'all. And I very carefully, very straight up and down, and very slowly place my very first dot in the center. So there is your very first dot on your canvas or board or whatever it is that you're working on, and that's going to get you started. What is also important is to have a rag or paper towel or another or Kleenex or something so that you can wipe off your paint each time. It's very important to keep your tools clean. Okay. I'm going to select one of my embossing tools, dotting tools here, stylus, whatever you want to call it. And this is when you start to go around your main dot. So I'm going to take another bright color like the light green here, and I'm going to dip it in there, make sure it's covered. And imagine the face of a clock, and what you want to do is you want to set your first 4 dots at 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock. And each time you're going to dip in for new paint. for each of those hours. You're going to go nice and slowly and place a dot at the 12 o'clock hour. Go in again, get some more paint, place a dot very close to the white dot but without touching it at the 3 o'clock. Get some more paint, place a dot at the 6 o'clock hour, dip in again, and place another dot at the 9 o'clock hour. So now you can see the size of these dots are relatively small, and you can guess that you could probably fit in another 2 dots in between each one. So I'm going to do that now. Space them as evenly as you can. Take your time. There you go. And then we're going to place another 2 dots. And remember, I can't emphasize this enough. For nice strong dots, you just go in each time to get more paint. Another helpful tip is if you're having a hard time placing these dots, whether you have like a shaky hand or it's hard to access or hard to get to, it's important to rotate your canvas in a position that makes it easier instead of trying to reach and trying to get to that spot that you can't quite get. And then the other thing is, I get it a lot if I drink coffee. If you hold your wrist and steady your hand by holding your wrist, that helps out a lot too. You'll be able to focus and get those dots exactly where you need them to be. And then when you're all done with those dots, you just wipe your tool off, get all that excess paint off, and you're fresh to start again. Now we're ready to move on to the next layer of dots. So if you look at your tools and what you have size-wise, you can see that there are, I'm going to use the stylus so that you can see it a little bit better. There are open spaces in between each dot. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to fill those up with a little bit larger dot than the last one, but not too big. So I'm going to go with this tool right here. And you can always do a test on the side, have an extra scrap paper to make sure you're happy with the size of the dot before you place it down. So I'm going to go with this teal color, and I'm going to dip it in and give it a tiny bit of space and place it right in between there. And then I'm going to repeat the process and go to the next one. And you just keep repeating the process until you have completely gone around the entire circle. Remember to dip it in each time. And there we have completed the third row. Now you can keep going like this, increase to the next size. So I'm going to go with this wooden dowel. The circle looks a little bit bigger. I'm going to go with the dark blue. I haven't done the dark blue yet. So same theory, same concept. You're just going to dip your tool in and line the dot up without touching. Get as close as you can without touching, straight up and down. Rotate your board so it makes it easier. And you continue this process all the way around. We are covering a very basic mandala, so I'm not going to get into additional techniques or get too super imaginative. This is just a really great opportunity to practice studying your hand and taking your time and going around and getting everything spaced accordingly. I'm just going to repeat this pattern. I really like these colors. So I'm going to move on to the next large dot. And the next large dot I have is with this dowel. And I'm going to repeat the pattern. I'm going to go with white. I'm going to dip my white in. And again, every open space, I'm just going to place a dot straight up and down into each area that is open, all the way around. Now I'm noticing with my white here that I'm getting these little peaks with my dots. I'm going to try to zoom in so you can see it. See how my other dots kind of are a little bit more flat? And then these ones have a little bit of a rise to it. That's okay. I mean, if you like that look, it just means that the paint isn't as wet. And this is also another thing that you can adjust accordingly. For instance, if I had this white paint in a paint tray and I wasn't happy with the peak, all I would have to do is add like a drop of water and mix it up, test it on the side, make sure I like it before I'd apply it to the dot mandala. Okay, so now we have gone around with the white. I've completely cleaned off my dowel, so it's ready to use the next time. So I'm going to take the next largest size. I'm going to take the next largest size. You see how that circle is just a little bit bigger than that one? Now this is the fun thing. I have, just basic supplies with limited number of size dowels. With the drill bit set, also you can since mandalas have become popular, there are companies online that sell a variety. You'll get more variety and ever so subtle increments with a set of either drill bits or the mandala sets that are out there. I will definitely put those links if this is something you're finding that you're going to enjoy and you want to continue to do. These links will be very helpful in determining what dotting tools you may be interested in. So I'm freshly dotting it in the teal color. And I'm going to put that in the open space there. and we're going to do this in the round. I don't know if there's any of you that are familiar with crochet, but that term in the round is very is like a term that you use in crochet. I like to use it in dotting too because it makes sense. We're going to be doing these dots in the round. This is starting to look really pretty. Okay, so now we have completed that color. Take my towel and I'm going to get this dowel cleaned off. Now keep in mind when you're using the wooden dowels, the color will most likely absorb, and that's okay. It'll be a used tool. Used tools are wonderful because that just means they're well loved and used a lot. Okay, it looks like the next color in my pattern. Oh, I don't know patterns. I guess I was supposed to do green next, but that's okay. We'll do the yellow-green next. That'll look great. So my next size increment in dowel land is this one. So I'm going to increase the size, dip it in the yellow-green paint, and do this in the round. Remember, going straight up and down and dipping it in each time is going to get you that nice round dot. Don't forget to turn your artwork so it makes it easier. If you're having issues with trying to line it up perfectly, just simply hold your wrist to steady your hand. So I don't know if you caught it from the beginning, but this is my very first instructional video that I have done, and I really would love your feedback so that I know how to do this better the next time. I just want to do this live. I don't really want to do a whole lot of crazy editing to make this video look amazing. I just want to have this out there as an instructional video for those of you who want to learn how to do this. It looks like we're getting closer to that that initial size that we put in our middle dot. So we're going to go back to that, and I think this is going to complete our standard mandala here. I'm going to go to use the blue because I've only used it once before. So I'm going to go back in, dip my tool in the blue paint, and in that open space, we are going to go in the round. Take your time. We're going to finish this up very soon. If you look on Instagram or Pinterest or any of those sites, you'll come across some quite amazing patterns for sure of people that have really taken to this. So now that I've used my largest size, I am considering this piece decently done. If you want to add more to it, We could always be creative with the corners. I'm just going to take the same blue and put a dot in each corner. And then you can just play and have fun, make your own designs. The goal of this is to reflect symmetry. So what I do to one corner, I'm going to repeat all the way around. I think I'm going to take, I kind of want to go back to these really small dots here. So we're going to take a dotting tool that has a small steel ball at the end, and I am going to bring out the white, and sort of the same kind of concept, but except this time in the corner we're going to go with we already have our existing pencil line there, so we're going to put a dot at what would be 12 o'clock. And then what I like to do is just go near the edge on either side, dipping it in each time, so we can see how many we're going to be able to fit. And it looks like I'm going to be able to fit 2 in here really close. So you just use your best judgment and see what you like, and you just go from there. It was a little bit of a tight squeeze. I made it work though. And then I'm going to repeat the same concept over here to all 4 corners. You'll find that when you start doing these, you'll create your own rhythm, your own pattern. You'll find what you like, you'll find what you don't like, and that's what makes it so relaxing. I know there's a lot of videos out there also doing the same thing. Just, do some YouTube searching. Maybe you'll find what you like. You can try to copy patterns. Most people are fine with that. But this lesson in particular was just basically covering the super basics of creating your very first mandala piece. I'll even add in a couple of extras before we leave this video here. I personally do more artwork than just mandalas. So I am thinking about creating more videos of, just process videos of me doing my artwork, or trying something new with new art supplies, just to get a little bit more familiar with creating videos to share with everybody. So I could keep going with this. Maybe after you've gotten this far, maybe you're gonna look at it and you're gonna say, oh, you know what? I wanna add more details somewhere else. So this is where you can get very imaginative, and you can continue with the smaller dots. You can do something where we see all these empty spaces that we have in between each of them. You could add dots in between them. So I'm going to add a dot right here all the way around. See that I found that open space. So I'm going to add a dot in that open space in that same place all the way around. so that we have symmetry. It also adds interest to the piece. Dipping it in each time to get a nice fresh dot. Now I feel like I need dots other places now too. I think I'm going to continue that teal color up in that space. So I'm going to get my teal color. And right in the center I'm going to put a dot. I'm going to use the same tool. So it's the same size dot. You know what? I think I might even add the same yellow-green dot right above the large yellow-green dot. So I'm going to place a dot in the center between the blue dots and the center between the green dot. So that concludes what I am doing with this mandala for our very first Dot Mandala lesson.